Say that again.
I have insteps in my school shoes because I used to get awful ankle pain.
Never knee pain.
So I like knee pain, just ankle.
All right. John.
What's in
Ankle, not knee.
No, like, it was only when I ran, then my shins would be like, really sore. But then also if I walk long distances without any inner soles in, and like, it feels like my, what you call is tearing underneath.
Eh?
My knees.
Your knees.
Yeah.
Longer?
My knees is kind of self-explanatory.
We're talking about normal times, not COVID knee time. Right, so having an arch, and do you guys all know what I mean by a foot arch?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it helps to, because it's a curved structure, it helps to absorb impact while walking. And people with flat feet very often develop knee pain and then over time hip pain, but also the ankle pain thing. And so the majority of flat-footed people have inner soles in there, put it into their shoes so that they have an arch support for their shoes. Okay. All right. Okay. The chest or the rib cage. So humans have a broad chest that is flatter from front to back, as opposed to, look at this rib cage, from front to back. It is very, what is called barrel shaped. We have a much flatter rib cage. And it places the center of gravity backwards towards the vertebral column, so we can stand more upright with ease. This kind of rib cage helps with climbing. Okay, and we'll talk later on, hopefully, about the structure of the pectoral girdle helping with climbing. All right, then what's also important, you can see very nicely on this picture, is the relative length of arms to legs. Okay, so if you hold your arms down, where do the tips of your fingers reach? Not while you're sitting, you noners, because then obviously you can touch your ankles. No, don't bend over, Bonka. Don't bend over. Stand straight, both hands down. Halfway down the spine. Okay, all right. Okay. So, if you get a skeleton, a drawing of a skeleton, and you are asked questions about putting it, say a drawing of 3 different skeletons, and you've got to put them in sequence from being bipedal all the time, or the evolutionary-wise most advanced, then one of the things that you can do is quickly just take your fingers, put it on the top of the arm, I can't reach there, top of the arm, bottom of the arm, and then put that exact same distance against the legs. If the arms are longer than the legs, used for climbing. If the arms are shorter than the legs, then more likely to be bipedal. Okay, and you can rank them like that. So here's an opposable big toe. Grasping hand. Okay, and this is the foot hand. It talks about grasping hand, but they're talking about the foot. Curved toe bones. So the actual digits curved, and that's for climbing. That's an adaptation for climbing. We have straight toes. Our toes are not curved, and that's for walking with our feet flat on the ground. Okay, right, so this is just going through a lot of the same kind of information again and again and again. So look at the shape and the proportions of the skull. Look at the size of the cranium, which remember is that part of the skull that houses the brain, relative to the size of the skull. So this is a big overall skull, but the cranium relative to the facial region is small. Cranium relative to facial region, much bigger. Okay. You can clearly see, not at all, the S-shaped vertebral column here, whereas the straight vertebral column here. Okay, the S-shaped vertebral column keeps the head and the torso above the center of gravity and then absorbs impact. The length and proportion of the limbs. Human legs are proportionally longer than gorilla legs. So look at the gorilla legs. This is almost as tall as a human, but the legs are much, much shorter. And here, the arms are proportionally much longer than the human arms. So these hands go right down to the knees. Okay. Size of hands and feet, much larger in gorilla than humans. All 5 toes in humans align with each other. In a gorilla, an opposable big toe. Human fingers are straight. They don't, if you look at them like that, they don't curve over. Okay. Other than Kaylin's, which curve the other way. Okay. So not used for climbing, used for climbing. Okay. Humans have proportionally longer thumbs than gorillas for an opposable thumb grip. Look at the size of the rib cage, much bigger and much deeper. And the pelvic bone, the different shape. Okay, we've spoken about that. That's just giving you more information of the same kind of thing. We've spoken about that. Okay, now, this links diet quality to brain size. Okay. If an individual has a better quality diet, in other words, they can have food all the time, they can search for good food, they can search for food that is rich in nutrients, etc., then they can have a smaller gut, and if less energy goes into producing and maintaining a smaller gut, then more energy can go into producing a larger brain. Okay, right. Larger brain means that they can actually think about, plan for getting food, obtaining food, therefore better food. So it's all linked to each other. Okay. Bonga, are we on to half an hour yet? I don't think the bell went.
No, it did, I just...
In terms of like wildlife,
Just let him finish this,
Yeah.
and then we can.
Because you don't
No, sorry, Bonga, I mean stop it.
Okay. First half hour in 29th of July, we talked choice 1 and 2.